For my history final for the NSA, I decided that I was going to play the Dark Souls 3 DLC and fight all the bosses, but during each boss fight, I have to talk about communism, and I am here to answer the question whether was communism an effective form of government socially and economically. So, when I fight each of the bosses throughout this game, there is going to be 6 in total. I will be talking about communism, and then later on I will answer whether or not it was effective or not. Here I have my character, Strong. This is an old save, but I made this character a while ago, but I love how he looks, and I'm okay with it. He's beautiful. There's nothing to say about that. I guess for the build itself, I'm using a big slab of iron to hopefully kill everything that I have to. So yeah. Enjoy the video, I guess, and I'm sorry that I made this. Alright, we're gonna be fighting the first boss of the DLC. Kind of the toughest boss of the entire game, to be honest. And for my first topic, it's going to be who created communism, what is communism, and examples of communism. This is my second attempt at this fight, so there's nothing. This lady's angry at me. Don't know why, probably because I talked to her dad. Oh, I didn't talk. Crap. Alright, so communism. It came from the ideas of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. They developed Marxism. They're responsible for the Communist Manifesto, which is kind of like the rulebook of communism. It was developed against the bourgeoisie and the Industrial Revolution. And then these ideas led to the creation of communism. I'm gonna watch this cutscene. Because she's dead. I crushed her skull with my slab of steel, or metal, whatever it is. My guts, sword. It's a lot of blood for a person. I'm just saying. Here's something cool. He's all angry and he's gonna kill me now, which is not very nice. These two are like Karl Marx and whatever, Friedrich Engels. This is what happened to them. They became monsters, and I have to become completely. I'm gonna stop them now. So, what is communism? Well, it's the idea that human nature is determined by external and economic relations. Why? Oh, yeah, right. There's no such thing as private property when it comes to communism. Right, so, can't know private property, luxurious or wealthy lifestyle, kind of wrong, it's corrupt. No! And the purpose of communism is to solve poverty and the Industrial Revolution. That's pretty much what communism is, right? It has some decent ideas, but again, democracy is fully against it because no private property is less. Right. And then examples, you have the Soviet Union, obviously the biggest one. Oh yeah, she's not dead, she has another face. This is epic. What? Oh crap. Alright, yeah, Soviet Union, right? We have the Cold War. We have China, right? That's another big one. Alright, North Korea, right, that's kind of a modern one today. That's really well known. Yes! Right, we have Cuba, the Distro, right, that with the nukes. Yes, first boss, toughest boss. Dead! I killed you both, you suck. We also have Vietnam War, now. Rest in peace, those guys. You know, I'm playing Dark Souls here, you know. I just killed a lady and her father, and I'm like, yeah, and, Vietnam. I'm a horrible person. Anyway, yeah. Communist governments, right? There's a few of them. There's way more, definitely, right? And, like, it was, like, that's kind of the Cold War, right? Trying to get as many communist areas as you can. Obviously, it's kind of weakened, but yeah, that's just some examples. And now, that is the first boss. Yeah. Cool. 6 minutes. Hey, second try too. Alright. Yeah, that's the topic for this boss. Alright, we're back with our next boss. This is the final boss of the first DLC, which, I mean, it didn't have to be. I could have done this one earlier. This one sucks. It's kind of boring. It's a duo fight. It's really about speed. The topic for this fight is going to be the pros of communism. Just the idea. They had some decent ideas. They're kind of understandable. We're going to start the fight, then we're going to talk about it. So here goes nothing. I hate this fight. There's 3? When was there 3? 2? Can you jump? Oh. Alright. Now that's really good. We'll talk about the pros. So, there's a lack of like societal like classes, like the bourgeoisie or like the poor. But that lacks. They're not existing. Right? Mostly just it's one class. And all needs that they need to survive are pretty simple to get. Come on. Thank you. No. Big wolf. Employment is pretty easy to get. Means of production, right? There's a lack of businesses, so people... right? There's no, like, any business or people able to focus more on production and then there's technological advances, right? You have stronger weapons, like newer bombs that are way more deadly and way more powerful. There's stuff that's not as, you know, morbid, like the space race, right? We had Sputnik from the USSR, which not only benefited the USSR, but also the United States by giving them that drive to search for for like that drive to continue and try to get to the moon, which we did. And yeah, that's pretty much the pros and this boss fight done. This is the first boss of the second DLC for this next fight, which is another duo boss. I'm gonna summon a buddy. We're gonna summon Gale. Hi, Gale. I'll come in a minute. So yeah, second fight. Yeah. The topic for this fight is going to be the cons of communism, which might be very familiar. So here we go. This is second try, by the way. Died the first time. We're gonna go for the glowing one. So first thing, obvious, lack of freedom. Right? People can't take too much food. People can't eat whatever they want. People can't choose their job. They can't choose what they want to watch either. That is purely decided on the government. They're the only ones that can decide what. Yeah, so there's that sense of you're controlled and you can't really choose what you want. Next thing, we have stagnation, right? Well, there's people doing jobs, you don't really see that, like, there isn't really a huge difference in economic growth. Actually, it's kind of doing pretty average compared to other places. In one of my sources is a book, and it states that pretty clearly. It has some graphs that show and are evidence to this. Next, communism is known for its very unjust and tyrannical leaders, right? First one, we have good old Joseph Stalin. Directly hit by that. I'm gonna get hit by that. Oh man. One leader that's going to be, I guess, tyrannical. Next three leaders in the government, right? People like to, call him not really, not very good leader. Yeah, and then next, right, one thing communism is surrounded by is the Cold War. Right? That's a huge part of the history of communism. Right, the United States and the USSR don't know it for a good half a decade, maybe more, actually. Yeah, we'll talk more about communism later. And the next thing, Okay. Limited resource management, that's kind of a big deal. Nice! Yes! We did it, Gale! We did it! Yeah! Okay. Scream me then. Bye-bye, Gale. And then, yeah, limited resource management. And then, one more is that there's really no financial gain for people. And, yeah. There's really no reason to try to be better. There's no drive that Americans have. So, yeah, that's pretty much a little list of the cons. And that is our third boss down. That should be the last duo or gank boss. Next boss, we're in a new area. This is the first boss of this new area. We're gonna do it, and then the topic for this one is a lifestyle in a communist society. So, first let's head in. He's gonna say some stuff, ignore him. So, first thing, no property, private property, which I've said a few times already. Right, no businesses. Right, people really can't get wealthy off of businesses, which kind of sucks. But this also has, like, you know, no wealth classes. Yeah. Next thing, the state assigns housing and jobs. Right? You don't really get to pick that. They kind of just see if you meet these requirements and like if you should. Right? This is the boss. This is just kill. He's really annoying. Right? So the state or whatever the place really picks where you go. Right? Where you're gonna. Oh my god. Oh, hit me. Back shots. Where you will be able to stay for housing. Okay, we have this thing as well. Next, a big thing is rations. Those exist, right? You can't just buy as much food as you want anymore. Right? You have a limited amount of rations that you need to do your part and not take too much food. If you do, they'll get mad at you and you'll probably get hit. There's also a limited amount of luxuries as well. Right, that is also limited. Yeah. It's like you can't buy everything you want. You have to stay within what the government wants you to buy. Yeah! I mean, in return for this, you do get free healthcare and education, which is kind of decent. It's kind of nice. Right, your family can learn without having to pay money, though you lose food for it, which sucks more, to be honest. And then something that will probably affect more so my generation is media is controlled, right? I know a while ago, a few years ago, people were talking about how, like, North Korea, right, limits what you can watch, what you can play, and it's like, that kind of sucks, right? I would be really upset if I couldn't play this game whenever I felt like it. Luckily, I can do that here in America. Yeah. A lifestyle is really controlling, but at the same time, there really is that lack of, like, wealth and poor. That's pretty much the gist of it. And that's another boss down. Alright. We're on our second to last boss of the DLC. Next, we have, in my opinion, this is the toughest one for me. For media purposes, the first boss was toughest. But this is my toughest boss. And the topic for this one is the Cold War and any other international affairs that were present. So we're gonna head down this hole. And probably die. Maybe like 100 times. Look at that. It's a dragon. Time to die. Alright, so here's the Cold War. Right? It's mainly known as it's not violent, like directly violent against the United States and the USSR. It's more so through other little wars. We did good damage. Oh! I don't like that. Oh, I didn't get it. Right, and like there's little, and not all those wars are like violent. Like you have the space race, right? Sputnik, right? Russia was the first one. Wrong way. Wow. Was the first one to get both an animal and a person into outer space. Right? Sputnik, as I said. Run. Okay, run. And jump. You have the arms race, that is, right, there was more violent ones, right? The want to get more dangerous bomb. Right, that was a very big one. And there's a double hit. Right, speaking of like threat, bombs and stuff, we have the missile threat and Cuba, right? That was a big one. That really showed like the actual dangers of this, the Cold War. Because in reality, it was really dangerous. Yo, he's going into second base, let's go. Good. Ow. You're not gonna get hit by that. How did I dodge that? I have no idea. Right, and then another, like, area I was going for. Run! Vietnam War, that's a big one. A really big one. Right? So you have the Vietnamese people fighting whether they could be communist and or democratic, right? And like, yeah. It was a very sad time for American people, right? Because in reality, we didn't really have to do war. Oh, yes! Oh god. Kill him! Die! Yes! First try. Oh my god. Oh, and then one more thing. Growth of communism and democracy around the world. I just killed that dragon first try. Let's go. Yes, Midir. He's so cool. He's so cool. Yeah. One more boss to go. And yeah, the Cold War, international affairs. There was lots of tension, and for us, here in the United States, communism is seen as really, really bad. And in other places too, right? Except like places where communism is likable. Anyway, final boss. Nice. the final DLC boss. I had to lock in for that one because, yeah. He's so good. So, the topic, I will say now for this one, was to answer the question. So, my answer is communism, with its flaws, is not significantly effective when it comes to society and like the economics. Right? The flaws are way more devastating than the ideas, like the positives of communism. Right? They overweigh tremendously. Right? People lose many of their rights that us Americans really, we have them. They don't. So like we can't really understand that really, but it's really horrible, to be honest. And I think we need those rights. Everyone should have those rights. People should be able to create businesses. People should be able to eat what they can, even if they might overeat and whatnot, and maybe drink and get addicted. But they should still be able to make that kind of choice, like to be able to eat what they want. Media and like maybe topics that should be discussed that might be controversial should be shown to the public. Communism was one of the sides of the Cold War, and the Cold War led to a lot of smaller wars and a lot of pain for everyone. And it really left an international mark on communism as well. Economically, right, there's the lack of business and the lack of people to want and to even grow in their wealth. It's like there's that lack of drive and jobs and such that really won't provide economic growth. And yeah, that is it. That's my project. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for making this. This was probably a really bad idea, but I don't know. I felt like a slideshow would have been kind of boring, so I wanted to do maybe a little bit more, even if this kind of has nothing to do with communism. Whatever. I mean, thanks for pitying me, I guess. And yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thanks for watching, if you did. This was a really bad idea, but it was fun. It was really fun to make this, and yeah. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.